She walked in unarmed into the most dangerous alien fortress in the galaxy. No armor, no backup, just a slow smile that made even killers freeze. They thought she was here to negotiate. They thought humans were harmless. But in less than 10 minutes, none of them would be breathing. And the terrifying part? She hadn't even touched a weapon yet. Welcome to Predator Protocol. I'm your storyteller, the voice that brings you tales where humans are never the prey. And tonight, we begin a story that every alien wishes had stayed untold. Let's begin. She walked in unarmed, no armor, no helmet, not even gloves. Just a black jumpsuit that hugged her body so well the alien guards forgot they were supposed to check her for weapons. The air in the fortress hallway was thick with heat from the twin suns outside. The alien guards, tall and insect-like, twitched their mandibles as she passed. Their eyes scanned her, not for danger, but for curves. Her boots clicked against the polished metal floor, slow, confident. Every step said, "I am not afraid." The fortress doors opened with a heavy hiss. Beyond them, the throne room of Zareth the Butcher. He sat on a massive chair carved from the bones of enemies. The walls were lined with trophies, claws, skulls, pieces of armor from 100 battles. Around him, his war council watched her like hungry predators. She didn't stop, didn't bow. Her eyes met his, and she smiled. That smile was dangerous. Not the kind that begged for mercy, the kind that said, "You have no idea what's about to happen." Gareth leaned forward, his voice deep and rumbling. "So, this is the human who dared to walk into my fortress?" She tilted her head slightly. "This is the alien who thinks I should be afraid?" A ripple of laughter moved through the room. The War Council grinned with sharp teeth. "You came alone," Zareth said. "No weapons? No army? No chance?" She let out a soft laugh. "Oh, I brought something with me, just not what you think." The guards shifted nervously. She didn't move, didn't even look at them. And yet, they couldn't take their eyes off her. One of the younger council members, a reptilian with blue scales, leaned forward and hissed, "You humans. You're all talk." Her gaze slid to him, slow and deliberate. "Sweetheart, if I start talking to you, you won't remember your own name." The room chuckled again, but the reptilian looked away first. She'd just won the first game without lifting a finger. She took another step towards Zareth. Her hips swayed, not exaggerated, just enough to make the guards glance at each other like they were all thinking the same thing. "I came here," she said softly, "because you've been raiding human colonies. Because you think we're weak. Easy prey." Zareth grinned, showing fangs the length of her fingers. "We don't think. We know." Her smile widened. "You know nothing." The way she said it, it wasn't anger. It was amusement, like a cat watching a mouse brag about its teeth. He tapped the arm of his throne. "Do you believe you can kill me with your bare hands?" Her eyes sparkled. "No. But I could kill you without even touching you." That made them laugh louder. Even the guards at the door leaned on their weapons, amused. Then the lights flickered. Just for a second. No one else seemed to notice. Except her. Zareth narrowed his eyes. "Some trick?" She shrugged. "Maybe. Or maybe your fortress isn't as safe as you think." One of the guards stepped forward, scanning her with a glowing device. "No weapons. No explosives. She's clean." "Of course I'm clean," she said with a playful smirk. "Though, I could make a mess if you ask nicely." That earned a low growl from Zareth. "You think this is a game?" "Oh no," she whispered, her voice it's loud enough to carry. "This is war. I just play it better than you." She walked closer, now only a few steps from the throne. The guards didn't move to stop her. It wasn't fear. It was something else. Her scent, her voice, Her eyes? Something was making them hesitate, even though their orders were to kill intruders on sight. Jareth's claws drummed against the armrest. You think humans are dangerous? Without weapons? She leaned forward, close enough for him to smell the faint scent of her hair. I know. Another flicker in the lights. Longer this time. One of the council members coughed, then staggered in his seat. Her lips curved into a slow smile. You feel that? That's the beginning. Zareth straightened. What did you do? Her voice was pure teasing. You'll find out soon enough. Or maybe, you won't live long enough to. The warlord's eyes narrowed. He signaled for his guards, but one of them suddenly dropped to his knees, clutching his chest. Her smile didn't fade. She took one step back, enjoying the confusion. Somewhere in the fortress, alarms began to sound. She turned her head slightly, speaking in that same lazy, taunting tone. Tell me, Zareth, do you want to guess how many minutes you have left? Or should I just surprise you? The throne room fell into uneasy silence, except for the sound of a guard gasping for breath. Another alien council member, a hulking brute with 4 arms, pushed himself to his feet. His voice was low, uncertain. What is happening to him? She tilted her head, her eyes on Zareth. Do you really want me to tell you? Or would you rather keep guessing until it's your turn? The brute took a step forward, fists clenched. If you've poisoned us, oh no, she cut in, her voice sweet as honey. Poison would be far too quick. This is something slower, something that lets me watch you panic. Zareth rose from his throne now, towering over her. You're bluffing. She smiled, and didn't even look at him when she answered. Am I? Then tell me, why is your vision starting to blur? His jaw tightened. He didn't answer, but his claws flexed, and for the first time, she saw the tiniest flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. Another guard stumbled sideways, knocking over a ceremonial spear. The metallic clang echoed through the chamber. She didn't move, just stood there, hands loose at her sides, as if she owned the place. Her voice was low, almost intimate. I told you. I didn't bring a weapon. I am the weapon. Zareth snarled. Enough of this! 2 guards rushed her from behind. She didn't turn, didn't even flinch. By the time they reached her, both were coughing violently, dropping their rifles as they clawed at their throats. She let out a soft, almost pitying sigh. Boys, you should really learn to keep your distance. The blue-scaled reptilian from before hissed again, his voice cracking. What are you? She glanced at him, and for a heartbeat, her gaze softened like she was about to tell him a secret. Then she smiled. Slow, deliberate, dangerous. Everything your mother warned you about. The council shifted uneasily. Some tried to stand, only to collapse back into their seats. Her steps were unhurried as she began circling the throne, her eyes never leaving Zareth. You wanted to know what I brought with me. She paused behind him, close enough that the tips of her hair brushed his massive shoulder. It's already inside you. Zareth's head snapped toward her. Explain. She leaned forward, her lips almost touching the edge of his ear. Not yet. I'm enjoying this too much. Then she walked past him, slowly, toward the main doors. But before she reached them, she stopped, turning her head just enough to meet his gaze over her shoulder. By the way, you might want to check on your guards outside. The huge metal doors slid open. The hallway beyond was littered with alien bodies, some unconscious, some twitching weakly on the floor. Or she looked back into the throne room, her smile widening. This is only the start. Zareth's heavy claws scraped the bone armrests of his throne. The sight outside the doors, his guards collapsed in the hallway. It burned into his mind. You've done something to my people, he growled. She turned back toward him, walking slowly into the room again, boots echoing on the floor. Correction. I'm doing something to your people. Present tense. One of the council members, a spider-like alien with 8 black eyes, let out a trembling hiss. "It's spreading." She stopped in the center of the room, crossing her arms loosely over her chest. Her black jumpsuit stretched with the movement, and she noticed more than one set of alien eyes flick toward her before quickly looking away. "You've all been told," she said softly, "that humans need weapons to win a war, that we're fragile, that we bleed easily." Her smile sharpened. "You forgot one important thing. We adapt, faster than anything you've ever fought." Zareth's breathing grew heavier. "You've infected us." She gave a soft, teasing laugh. "Infected? No. That sounds messy. This is elegant." The reptilian alien coughed again, this time harder, his claws shaking. "What? Is it?" Her gaze swept the room like a slow blade. Nanodust. Invisible. Weightless. Keyed to human pheromones. The moment I stepped inside, it woke up. The spider alien shivered violently. "Nanodust. But your scanners..." She cut him off with a flick of her fingers. "Your scanners are designed to detect weapons made by your kind, not ours." Zareth's voice dropped to a low rumble. "You expect me to believe you can bring down my entire court with a trick of scent?" Her smirk deepened. "Not just scent, chemistry. Human chemistry. You've been breathing me in since I walked through the door." Another guard collapsed near the wall. His weapon clattered to the floor. The sound echoed in the quiet room like a gunshot. She took a sigh. "Step closer to the throne. Your muscles will start to weaken first, then your vision, then your heart will slow." "And if I kill you right now?" Zareth demanded. She tilted her head, the faintest sparkle of mischief in her eyes. "Then you'll die wondering if I was telling the truth, or just making you sweat." A shiver of unease ran through the council. She began pacing, slow and deliberate, as if she were inspecting them like prey. "You see, I don't need to swing a blade. I don't need to fire a shot. I just walk in, and nature does the rest." Her boots stopped right in front of Zareth's throne. She leaned forward slightly, her voice dropping to a whisper only he could hear. "But that's not the only surprise I brought." His eyes narrowed. "What else?" Her lips curved upward. "Oh, you'll find out when it's far too late to stop it." And then, the entire fortress shook. Not from her, not from any weapon she carried, but from something else. Far away, deep below them, a low, echoing roar rolled through the walls, like some ancient beast waking up. Her smile widened, slow, knowing, dangerous. "I think your pet just heard me knock." The walls vibrated again, dust falling from the high ceiling. The sound below was heavier now, closer. The alien council members exchanged nervous glances. One muttered, The containment vault." Zareth's claws dug into the armrest. "No one opens that vault." Her eyes locked on his. "Then you might want to check who holds the key." He bared his fangs. "You couldn't have..." She stepped forward, cutting him off without a word. Her smirk alone was enough to silence him. Another deep, rolling thud shook the floor. Chains rattled from somewhere far beneath them, followed by a low growl that seemed to vibrate through every bone in the room. Some council members tried to stand, but their legs betrayed them. Others clutched their throats, breathing harder with every passing second. She began circling the throne again, her tone casual, almost bored. "You've kept it locked away for decades because you couldn't control it," Zareth growled. "You don't even know what it is." "Oh, I know," she said softly. "And I also know it hates you." His jaw tightened. "You think you can use it against me?" Her lips curved just slightly. "I don't need to use it. I just need to open the door." A loud metallic crack rang out from below, the sound of something snapping chains. Several aliens flinched. The blue-scaled reptilian hissed, his voice trembling. "If it escapes, it will kill everything in its path." She glanced at him with a teasing smile. "Exactly." The ground trembled harder. A vent in the wall burst open, spewing hot air and the scent of something wild, something primal. Zareth stood now, towering over her, rage in his eyes, but also fear. "What do you want?" he demanded. She stepped closer, so close he could feel the heat of her breath. "What I want is for you to know that this was never your fortress. It was your cage." Her words hung in the air like a death sentence. Then, without warning, a deafening roar shattered the air. The floor beneath them cracked. From deep in the shadows below, two massive, glowing eyes opened. And they weren't looking at Zareth. They were looking at her. The two glowing eyes didn't blink. They just stared at her. A deep rumble rolled out from the darkness beneath the cracked floor. Every alien in the room froze, their weapons useless in trembling hands. Zareth's voice was low, uncertain now. "It's looking at you." She didn't turn toward him. Her lips curled into a slow, knowing smile. "It knows me." The massive shape began to rise from the shadows, thick chains snapping one by one, echoing like gunshots. A wave of heat and dust swept through the throne room. The alien council backed away, their once proud voices now reduced to whispers. "She's not afraid." Of course she wasn't. She took a step forward, boots crunching against the fractured floor, her gaze locked with the beast's. And then she spoke. Her voice wasn't loud, but it carried through the room like a command. "Down!" The towering creature, all muscle, claws, and jagged armor-like hide, lowered its head, like a predator greeting an old friend. Gareth stared in disbelief. "You tamed it?" She turned her head slightly, her smirk full of wicked amusement. "Oh no, we just have an understanding." A ripple of unease passed through the council. "What kind of understanding?" one dared to ask. Her eyes sparkled. "The kind where it doesn't eat me, and I don't let it starve." The beast let out another rumbling growl, not at her, but at the aliens still standing. The blue-scaled reptilian took a step back, his tail lashing in fear. "You brought it here, to kill us." She raised an eyebrow. "Not exactly. I just gave it an opportunity." The beast's chains fell completely, crashing to the ground. It stepped forward, the floor trembling with every movement. Aliens scrambled for the walls, panic breaking their earlier arrogance. Zareth's voice broke with both rage and fear. "You'll destroy everything in this fortress." She finally turned to him, her voice dripping with a dangerous kind of sweetness. "Good. You've collected enough trophies. Time to lose one." The beast roared again, so loud the walls cracked. Zareth reached for his weapon, but his hands shook. She stepped closer to him, leaning in just enough that her words were for him alone. "You thought I was unarmed. You were wrong. I brought the most dangerous weapon in the galaxy." She glanced toward the beast, its glowing eyes narrowing on the warlord. "And it's hungry." The beast moved. One swipe of its claw sent an armored guard flying into the wall, the impact leaving a crater of twisted metal. Another guard tried to fire. The creature's tail lashed out, snapping him in half before the shot left the barrel. Screams filled the throne room. The proud alien council was no longer a council, just prey trapped in a cage with something that didn't believe in mercy. She didn't move quickly. She strolled through the chaos, stepping over fallen weapons, bodies, and shattered armor. The beast's massive frame always kept her in its shadow, as if it was guarding her. Her eyes found the blue-scaled reptilian who'd mocked her earlier. He was pressed against the wall, shaking. She smiled at him like she was about to deliver a compliment. "Still think humans are all talk?" He opened his mouth, but no sound came out. The beast's head swung toward him, hot breath washing over his terrified face. She gave the creature a small nod. It obeyed. The reptilian's scream was short, swallowed by the sound of bones snapping. She turned her gaze back to Zareth. He was still on his throne, but now gripping the armrests so hard the bone cracked under his claws. "You've made your point," he snarled. "Call it off." Her smirk was pure challenge. "And if I don't? You'll die with us." he barked. She stepped closer, the beast's eyes tracking her movement. I told you. I'm not the one in danger. The beast let out a low rumble, not aggressive, almost protective. Zareth noticed it too, and his eyes widened. It's bonded to you. She tilted her head. Bonded? No, it just likes me better than it likes you. Around them, the last of the guards fell silent, leaving only the sound of the beast's breathing and the faint hum of the damaged fortress walls. Jareth rose to his full height, his massive frame towering over her. You've unleashed something you can't control. Her lips curved, slow and dangerous. Oh, I can control it. The question is... She leaned in close. Should I? The beast's claws scraped the floor as it turned its head toward Zareth. The warlord didn't move. Her eyes locked with his, and she whispered, You have one chance to convince me why I should let you live. And then, she smiled. But I warn you, I'm a terrible listener. The beast stepped forward, its shadow swallowing them both. The throne room felt smaller now. The beast loomed over Zareth, its claws tapping against the cracked floor. A slow, steady rhythm that sounded like a countdown. She stood between them, calm, collected, almost bored. Well, she asked softly. Convince me. Zareth's jaw clenched. His voice was low, almost desperate. What do you want? Power? Credits? Territory? She smiled like he'd just told her a bad joke. Darling, if I wanted any of that, I would have taken it already. The beast's glowing eyes narrowed, its head lowering closer to him. You're going to die unless... He started. Unless what? She interrupted, stepping closer until she was almost touching him. You'll give me mercy? That's cute, coming from a man who collects skulls. She turned her back on him, a move no one ever dared to do in his presence, and started walking toward the exit. The beast stayed where it was, breathing hot air into Zareth's face. Her voice carried across the room, smooth and sharp at the same time. You raided human colonies because you thought we were weak. She stopped at the doors, glancing over her shoulder. But now you've learned something important. Zareth growled. And what is that? She winked. We don't need to be armed. To be deadly. The beast moved, too fast for the eye to follow. And Zareth's roar was cut short. The council chamber fell silent. One heartbeat later, the massive creature turned and followed her, like a loyal hound. She didn't look back. Her boots echoed in the hall, each step taking her further from the fortress that was now nothing but a tomb. Somewhere far behind her, the alarms finally stopped. She opened a comm channel, her voice smooth as silk. To anyone listening, if you think humans are prey, think again. The signal cut. The galaxy would remember this night. The night one unarmed human walked into the heart of an empire and didn't just survive. She owned it.